Welcome back to this video, and today's tutorial I'm going to show you on how to cut shapes in Illustrator. So let's go. But before we dive into the tutorial, if you find this tutorial useful and you are very new to this channel, remember click on that subscribe, turn on the notification bell for more tutorial about Illustrator tricks. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, so the very first thing I want to do here is to head over to my toolbar right here. So I have to make sure I click and hold down. Then we can start with rectangle shape. Okay, so I'm going to select my rectangle shape, then I'll come to the workspace. I will just draw a rectangle like this. So having drawn this particular rectangle, and let's see how we can cut this rectangle to at least 2 equal parts. Okay, so what we want to do next is to make sure we head over to our toolbar right here. I'll make sure I click and hold down. I will choose my pen tool. Then having choose my pen tool, I can simply come to the pen tool property from the sidebar right here. I will make sure no fill for this particular one. Okay, next thing I want to do here is to go back to my pen tool. Then I will make sure I press shift key on my keyboard and draw a straight line. Then I'll make sure I press Ctrl key down to cut. Now we have all line right here. Next thing I need to do is to select everything this way. Now we have it properly aligned, or better still, we can come here and we'll make sure we align them all together. So I'm going to align it this way. So everything has been perfectly aligned. Now we want to divide this shape into 2 equal parts and with different color. So what we want to do next is to make sure we go back to our toolbar right here. Then I have to make sure I select my shape builder tool. Then having select shape builder tool, then you have to take it to the workspace, to the shape, and then you're going to see something like this. Before we can fill a particular shape right here, we need to come to the appearance right here, and we'll make sure we change the color to, I'm going to change this color to blue. Then I will make sure I double click here. Then we have that. Next thing I'm going to do is to come here again, change this color to this type of this one right here. Then I'll come back to the second shape, right? I will double click and we're able to cut it. It's as simple as that. The next thing I'm going to do is to select this the first shape and press shift key on my keyboard, select the second shape. Then I'll have to drag them one side. So I'm going to drag them right here. Next thing we want to do is to click and hold down, drag this way. Then we press delete key on our keyboard. So we are not interested in those shapes any longer. Next thing I'm going to do is to select all these. Then I have to come to the object from the home tab right here. I will make sure I group. Okay, so we have this one right here. Okay, next thing we want to do here is to see how we can simply cut another shape. So we can go back to our toolbar right here, click and hold down. This time around, I'm going to use ellipse tool. So having selected my ellipse tool, then I'll press shift key on my keyboard and drag just for me to draw a perfect ellipse tool. Okay, now this shape right here, I'm going to divide it into 4 equal parts. I'm going to cut it into 4 equal parts. So for me to do that, we have to head over back to my pen tool. I'll click and hold down. I will choose pen tools. Then I will make sure I press shift key on my keyboard and draw my straight line. Then I'll make sure I press Ctrl key down to cut. Then I'm going to make sure I make another straight line, Ctrl key down and cut. Now we want to make sure we align this. So for us to do that, I'm going to select this one right here. I'll press shift key and select the circle. Then I'll make sure I come to my align panel. So I will align to vertical center and horizontal center. We are done with that. Next thing I'm going to do, or better still, I can simply select everything this way. So I'm going to select everything this way. Then I'll have to go back to my align panel, align vertical center and align horizontal center. So we have everything perfectly. Now what we want to do here is to see how we can divide this particular, or how we can cut this shape into 4 equal parts and with different color entirely. Now we are going to use the same previous method to get this job done perfectly. So next thing we want to do is to head over to our shape builder tool right here. So having select my shape builder tool, then we move to the shape. So we can see right here that there is an action to probably cut out some part or probably fill some part with with another color. Now, out of this particular 4 shape right here that we are trying to have right here, I can decide to cut out one out of them. Then for me to do that, I can cut from here. What I need to do is to press Alt key on my keyboard. Then you see that immediately I press Alt key on my keyboard, then there's going to be a sign from my mouse. So what I need to do is to just drag, boom, that part has been cut off. It's as simple as that. Okay, now the rest of the shape right here, we can simply fill them with another color, or better still, we can simply make sure we connect all these three shapes together. Okay, so for us to do that, we just need to simply come back here and we choose a color. So I'm going to use this color right here. Then I'll make sure I drag all over this way. Boom, we have it that way. Then I'm going to click on here just to bring out the shape from the rest of the, so we have it this way. Next thing I'm going to do is to select on this particular shape right here. Then I will drag it outside. Boom. Then I will make sure I select all these. So I select only this shape right here. Then I'll press the Delete key on my keyboard. Boom. So we have this one right here. Okay. Now let's take a look at another example on how we can cut a shape in Illustrator. So I'm going to go back to my shape right here. Then this time around, we are going to use polygon shape. Okay. Then we have to press Shift key down and draw another polygon shape like this. Okay, so this polygon shape right here, I'm going to make sure I cut it into, so but before that, I will just make sure I adjust the size of the polygon a little bit. Then I'm going to make sure I cut this particular polygon into 2 equal parts. So for us to do that, we have to go back to our pen tool right here. I'm going to select my pen tool. Then I'll press Shift key and make sure I draw a straight line. Then I have to press Control key down just for me to cut. It's as simple as that. Then I have to go back to my Move tool. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to make sure I select these two shapes right here. Then we have to properly align to vertical center, align to horizontal center. So we have it these two in this manner. Now what we want to do here is to divide this shape or cut this shape into 2 equal parts. So next thing we want to do is to go back to our shape builder tool right here. Then we have an action. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is to just fill this particular place with a gray color. So I'm going to come here, come to the fill, then I'll make sure I choose a gray color. Gray color. Then I'll double click on here just to fill it with the gray color. Then I will leave the rest as it is. Next thing I'm going to do is to go back to my Move tool. Then I will simply click on this one right here. I'll press Shift key and click on the second one. Then I'll drag it out like this. Then I will make sure I select all this. So press Shift key and select the second one. Then I'll press the Delete key on my keyboard. Now I'll have to fall back to this. Then I can simply take it down a little bit. Okay. So it's as simple as that. So lastly, let's take a look at another shape. So I'm going to click and hold down. Then this time around, let's make use of star. So I'm going to press Shift key and draw my star this way. Okay, then I have to properly arrange it this way. So the next thing I'm going to do is to apply with my pen tool here, I will make sure I apply some shape. So from here to here, I'll make sure I draw a straight line like this. Then I'll press Ctrl key down to cut. Okay, so what we want to do next is that I'm going to make sure I select all this. Then I'm going to go back to my fill right here. Then I will apply this color. Then I have to go back to my shape builder tool. Then I'm going to double click here. So it's the same color. I have to change this color to something like this. Then I'll fill this color with another color entirely. Then I'll click on my Move tool back. Then I have to select the shape. This one here, I'll press Shift key and select this one right here. Then I can drag them somewhere else. Okay, so I need to make sure I click on here and press Shift key and click on this. Then I'll press the Delete key on my keyboard. So we have it this way. So Shift key and select the second shape. Then I can simply drag them right here. So I can select them and create a little bit gap with my arrow key. It's as simple as that. Okay, so basically this is how to cut shape in Illustrator. I can simply select on this. So you can cut shape into different style, or better still, I'm going to ungroup this. So, or better still, you can cut shape to be on equal part as the case may be. So it's as simple as that. So basically, this is how you can actually cut shape in Adobe Illustrator. I hope you really got value for this video. If you find this video useful, give this video a big like, and also remember to subscribe to the channel for more tutorial tips and tricks about Illustrator. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.